All right, top of the agenda. Moorabbin hasn't seen an incident like this for decades, an explosive moment from a practice match, no less, and it has splintered in various directions. It demands intervention, it's prompted apologies, and very soon, judgment will come.
What was your reaction to Jimmy's hit on Jai Simpkin yesterday?
Yeah, look, it was interesting, isn't it? It's certainly a hot topic in the AFL. Ironically, Jimmy and I had a coffee already booked for this morning, just at Sons of Mary and Brighton, so yeah, it was opportune. Obviously, he's devastated. He's really concerned for Jai. Very remorseful, but it was like a split-second action.
Got dumped after he kicked it. So there's going to be a scuffle. Spill out into the crowd. It is getting quite fiery.
That was a big hit.
Jimmy Webster involved.
He's not in a good way.
He doesn't look in a good way.
You know, that vulnerable state where you've just got rid of the ball, you think the game's going to protect you, and then you get that hit like, just see here. Just too high, leaves the ground.
Oh, no.
As commentators, former players, fans of the game, we don't want to see that. So he'll get dealt with quite harshly, you would think.
Players are repeatedly told not to leave the ground. So
it's just stupid, isn't it?
It's just stupid.
Yep. And the snap back of the head there, just I know we're replaying it, but I feel sick watching this.
Really concerned for both lads, in particular Jai, because heavy physical contact. Jimmy's remorseful and just coming in now to talk about go to tribunal. Clearly, there's no defence to it. And, you know, we always support the person and change the behaviour. So, yeah, we've got to continue to evolve with the game, but we're devastated for both boys involved.
And you just hope that Jai's all right.
The ramifications will be felt by all involved. The referral has formally been made from the match review officer, so it's destined for the tribunal tomorrow night. It's calculated as careless. It's how that's not intentional, I still think, is a problem within the system. It's as callous as it gets, and we know that it's severe. So to the tribunal we head, and all that from a practice match.
Used to happen 30 years ago, and they'd spark all in brawls. Congratulations to the North Melbourne players for not losing their cool in the moment. Years gone by, there would have been punches thrown and it would have been a terrible fracas. He's going to plead guilty. He put out a statement today. You do try and feel for both parties. And the main one is Jai Simpkin. His career could be over, depending on what happens. You know, you can say it might be a concussion, but that's his third inside 12 months, Jared. We just had Angus, as you know, retiring. So our main concern is Jai Simpkin. Webster's not a dirty player. He just had the word they used was stupid. He just decided in that moment that he would try and inflict as much pain and hurt onto Simpkin. And he nailed it. He flushed it, you know, and he's going to be up for... I don't know what he's going to get. This is the AFL. We'll ask Andrew Dillon.
So it's really interesting, isn't it? Tapping the community attitude towards it, and the AFL signified that coming into the season, shifting community standards. And the shifting community standard of today is not only accepting of a big penalty, but demanding a big penalty.
That's what I've noticed, the demands now. If you were in charge, what would you consider to be a reasonable penalty?
Yeah, so I was heading in this morning thinking 6, because I think, like the Richter scale, the rise from 4 to 6 that's a seismic shift. But it felt to me like the demand in the community is
a bit higher. Yeah,
this was the range of penalties that used to be reserved for dirty acts, for thuggery.
I remember Barry Hall got 7, I think.
Yeah, this is the progression towards the realisation around just how serious the spectre of concussion is, the ramifications are for Simpkin, and that this is the action that can be eradicated from the game. There's a whole lot that live in the margins, where sometimes players are unlucky and sometimes they are on the wrong side of careless. But this is a really clear-cut...
No, it was a dirty act. It was a dirty act to hurt a player after he got rid of the ball. You know, he's a fair player. I can't think of another time that Jimmy Webster found himself in trouble. Correct me if I'm wrong. He had a rush of madness and he wasn't able to control himself.
He's going to pay a big price for it. Alastair Clarkson's involvement with this, and we'll give you a glimpse of what was picked up on the television coverage. So he wasn't coaching North Melbourne and he didn't restrain his fury at quarter time. It's an expletive-laden tirade toward Webster, who obviously heard what was coming his way. Clarkson was moved to apologise himself. And now there's the interesting question as to what the level of... Is there a punitive aspect to Clarkson's actions?
Oh, in my opinion, there has to be. Can't think of any other major sport around the world where one of the senior most, respected figures uses... We're not going to say the language. We're not even going to say it, but you should know it by now. Using that language, and the league that they're playing in says, no, that's okay. You can be homophobic. And Clarkson might say, no, it wasn't homophobic, but it's a homophobic word. If he made a racist comment, Jared, would the AFL come down heavy on him? Of course they would. What's the difference between racism and homophobic language? Andrew Dillon, I don't know if you'll be able to say much. We're certainly going to hit him with some questions about it. Because the AFL can't preach inclusion, diversity, and then have one of their senior figures in the game slap that word onto a player in the heat of the moment. It's not an excuse, heat of the moment. It's not. Because if we start giving heat of the moment excuses to everyone, Jared, we'll be forgiving everyone.
The two layers of it are the interaction between the coach and the player, which has always been frowned upon, but then the secondary issue is that... the second part to it, not the secondary issue, the second part to it is the language that was used.
Is what he said.
And you roll that together and
I think he should be fined.
Action.
I think he should be fined. Others have told me today he should be suspended. Have you got a gut feel?
We'll leave it till we talk to Andrew. I think a fine would be appropriate in this instance. I'm not always big on handing out fines, but I think for what this is, that does feel right.